Hey, good morning. It's Robert. Happy Friday. Yeah, I think I saw this ecom and I didn't list it for some reason. I put it on there. Morning, Tom, Rabas. Hey, John, thanks for the list. Hey, Ralph. Morning, RM. You too, thanks for the watches. Uh-oh. So, looks like we got the break of range yesterday afternoon. I wasn't around, but might have been able to get something with it. Yeah, you had a 15-minute right there at 115. That was looks like a good entry into that. And today we're gapping down another dollar and a half, although right near yesterday's low, dollar and a half from the close, but 321.48 yesterday's low, 321.52 current price. So right there sitting on some support, still some distance to the 20 MA. So this pullback is not necessarily over, or even at a buy point here. Could be. I mean, there is some demand here, obviously, and we held three times in the pre-market. I guess as low as 320.50 um, last night, just before 8 o'clock, and 4:06 this morning. Yeah, it's my favorite time. Yeah, I got a couple of golds on the watch list. They really jumping today, which might indicate more market downside. Now Q's in a little more trouble. Q's pulled back to the 20 MA yesterday, and now gapping below. So getting about a $3.50 gap in the Q's. Under the 20 MA, barely under, but under. And 250, 276 is the prior low, but I doubt there's much there. There's some volume there, but the real demand is going to be closer to this 240 area, which is still a long ways away. So, going to be interesting if the SPY can hold the area or not. I think it's a definite possibility we could bounce early today. Short the rally though, unless we bounce big. I think a rally is a short. Um, and if we just keep falling, short any rally. That would be the plan here. Possibly take something super strong at the open long, but if that doesn't work out, or if we don't bounce, rallies look shortable. All right, let's go through the list. Have a couple dozen earnings, some of them decent, and then a few extras on here like A-Bus. Patent dispute with mRNA. It looks like they're getting somewhere with it because MR8 down and A-bus is up. Looks like a fade though. Gapping up $1.40 over yesterday's high after a huge volume bar. Sometimes these can go for a couple of days, but this is going to pull back too. I'll put it on the list. I'm not sure it's shortable though. Well, it is. And well, AMAG already up and back down. AMAG hit 1345 and now back to 1050, so I'm just going to get rid of that off the list. AU, one of the golds I put on the list. Nice breakout here. Been sitting for 5 days after the prior 10, after the prior 20. And like Ralph said, gold is still going higher. Or reaching all-time highs, which BJRI, first earnings here on the list. And this is like the one yesterday where it wasn't like the whatever bank I had a bank I liked. It was just a little gap. Although this doesn't quite have the room. It does have room to almost 22, which is a dollar. I like how this is turning over the downtrend. On this gap, this downtrend is now broken on the daily chart. And the weekly certainly has room to push up. You can see the weekly had a big push a couple of months ago off the lows, and so I kind of like BJRI higher. And I always like BLMN. Yeah, this one's even better. It's just thin. Its earnings, base breakout off the bottom, got some room up to $13. And it doesn't look like it, but it usually plays well. You know, it needs a little extra room, but it usually runs in the right direction. It's not a trickster, at least not in my experience. CRI gapping, well, 91 by 95, so big spread here. That will have to settle down. Ni- 95 is the prior high. All right, I'll put it on the list. And ecom right to the prior high. Low volume, pretty big spread. I mean, it's not just the 40 cents, but then there's 30-cent tiers after that. So I think I'm gonna skip this, even though I like this for a quick fade. EW needs a lot of room to play, and it's way up there. Yesterday's a red bar, and now gapping over it by $2. Yeah, this is tough. Hard to go long this because of where it is on the daily. yet hard to short it because it's so strong. I'm gonna skip EW. And GFI, I'm not sure this is on the earnings list. I don't think it is. EW was. GFI is just a nice gap over a red bar. Oh, it's gold. That's why. Never mind. It's one of the other golds. Okay, so I've got AU. I'll skip the GFI, and HMY is the other gold I put on the list. I'm sure any of them will do. HMY also a nice breakout. So on the list, Honeywell, not really an actionable gap. It is gapping up a couple dollars, and more importantly, it was gapping down $4 earlier this morning, just about an hour and a half ago. It's still got that prior high at 157.02, and then it's got the 200 MA daily, which complicate it from going higher. But other than that, it's clear to 165. So I kind of like it, but it's got more room to go. I mean, I don't like it yet. Mattel, looks a little like EW, except it's much clearer. Mattel's got room to 1280. Well, it already hit it. It hit 1267 in the pre-market. All right, I'm going to watch MAT as well. It's going to take a pullback entry. MXL. Hey, TJ, good morning. Just saw your hello there. MXL. This is almost good. You know, trying to climb 3 bars. Hasn't quite done it. And I don't know if it's thin or not. Yeah, it did 1,000,008 yesterday. 26-cent spread showing. I'm going to skip that for the open. It did report, but it's just not doing volume. Just like Sam, which also reported and also looks good higher. But I'm going to skip that. I never play Sam. SGMS. Almost good. Right in the area where it could break higher. This is earnings. It's done 90,000 shares. Spread's about 15 cents. I'm going to put this on the list. And SKX right into the 200 MA. I guess I have to watch that. More of a fade though. At least early. And SBL, not enough gap on that. And SWIR, this is not on the earnings list, but there must be some kind of news here. That is a wicked gap up to $11. 50-cent spread at the moment. But right to the prior high. In fact, it looks like it hit 1450 for a moment last night. I'm gonna skip it though. TSM, it doesn't seem like the morning for fading strong stuff. That's why I'm not as interested in these bigger gap ups. Rather short, weak stuff, or possibly buy a gap down. And TSM, which I don't think reported either. I thought it did the other day. But getting a nice gap up when a lot of other tech is weak. So I like TSM, and I almost like Verizon, but I don't. Plus, Verizon's been really messy in the pre-market. All right, BYND. Yeah, gapping down a few dollars. Put that on the list. Got room to crack now. All right, gonna look at downs. I got 9 minutes. Um, Apple, $5 gap, 365. It's got more room. No earnings there, but there's news of a new fraud or something, or a new accusation. I didn't read the article, I just saw the headline. AXP is earnings, and it is gapping under the green bar, but 93.50 may be tough to get through. Goes on the list though. BLDP, this is not earnings either, but gapping under lows. So I'm not going to watch it, but it's there. BYND even better. I mean, that is gapping under prior lows. The only one left is 116, and that could make for a nice target. I'm going to leave it off at the open though. eHealth. This is the big gap down that could fade. We'll see. It's still got 87.50 with the pivot. Volume came in before that though. Yeah, there's like a quadruple bottom there in that 89 area. And this is earnings. So I like this one to fade if it can show some strength. And could fade it even lower because it could drop first. And INTC, don't see this every day. INTC all the way to 52. So there's another one that could fade, a big gap down. It doesn't quite have the demand of the e-health, but it does have these prior lows here. So Intel looks like a nice fade. Like Intel, yeah. And then MSFT, which I think reported yesterday, gapping a little lower, not much. This is still, holding mildly bullish, but trying to break some pivots here, or has. I'll leave that off, and Neo might get another buy retest of that buy setup. NKLA looks a little like BYND, just breaking down, as does plug. So a couple of these power companies down. And then SWKS. This is still reasonably bullish. This is gapping to the rising 20. Not the way you want your buy setup to look, but it's in the buy setup area. Now, I'll put it on the list because it's earnings, but I don't see a play with it. And then Tesla, $100 gap again. This time lower, but demand close by. All right, that's the list. I still like these golds higher, and the ones that don't look like much, BLMM and the BJRI, I kind of like those. And then eHealth and Intel to fade. ENT. Yeah, that's a big upper. Looks like on a movie contract or something. All right, ready to go. I think the Blumen or the BURI may take a little bit to develop, but I'm willing to do either one long, and I'm also willing to do INTC or eHealth long. Maybe short on the eHealth, but I need to see more. And I don't have a short, something to go right after. Maybe plug, but I, I, I don't have an earnings gap to go right after. Yeah, Apple, yeah. Oh, it's on the list. Yeah, Netflix new low. Thanks. I'll put that on the list. All right. Should open any second. Okay, open. John's got Intel short under 86. Uh, don't think it triggered. I'm waiting for a long on that, but I wouldn't argue that it could fall first. Same with eHealth. Yeah, eHealth triggered a short, I think. Yeah, it triggered under the low. And so did Intel. Oh, look, BJRI smoking. Oh, big spread. And Bloomin'. Okay, a little pullback or a nice continuation on Bloomin' would be an entry for me. I like it to 13. So it just needs risk reward to 13. I mean, it may hesitate a little at 12, but we get a buyable pullback, Bloomin' long. CRI is harder. Intel dropping nice. Through the prior low. Nice job, John. eHealth over the high a day. By the low. So it'd be basically 90 by 87.50. Right now it's still a short. But if it can hold the low and crack the high, it's a big if, but oh, AXP getting hit hard. All right, market trying to turn here. Okay, eHealth high a day by low a day. It's a very big stop, and I don't know what the spread really is. Yeah, the spread may make it untradeable. It looks like it's 75 cents. And then it flattens out and then gets big again. Yeah, spread's very tricky on eHealth. I'm gonna leave it alone, I think. I do, well, not if it's lower. Yeah, now it's breaking down. So it's still a short. Still a short. Apple's a short right here. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna pass it. But Apple just triggered a nice looking short. CSM, wow. Yeah. Okay, Bloomin', if it can turn around now and go over a red bar's high, it's a long. I don't want it to drop much more, and I'd like to see a red bar overcome, even if it's only a 1 minute. So 38 by 20 low a day would be even better. Give it one chance to fail, but BLMN 1138. 20 is the proper entry, but I'm going to give it a little more room. Here, this is if it triggers. Okay, market's lower. eHealth lower too. So but both eHealth and Intel both nice jobs going lower. Apple working too. Seeing a lot of red. Gold looking higher. Still willing to do this BLMN. Actually, could do it over 32 now. But just can't go any lower at this point. It's got to hold here. So could start an entry over 32. And still like BJ if it can hold low a day and same thing, turn around. I think BLMN just triggered. E health still dropping. Apple pretty nice. If grabbed it. With the BLMN, you could, particularly if you took the 32 entry, could grab a little high a day, but I'm going to target, I'm going to target 1190 and 1290 for targets. And I'm giving a little room if it wants to push down once under the 1117. I think I called 1110 as the stop, but I'd like to give it one push down, but not quite the low a day. Yeah, this is it. Now, once well, hopefully it can recover. This is not good now. It just stopped according to the call. I'm giving it a few more cents. Just triggered by a penny, too. It's unfortunate. Yeah, okay, gotta get out. Gotta get out. Just went too low a day, so BLM's a stop. And that may have been the low. Harder to play now, though. INTC basic at the low. Wow. This could drop again. Well, the exit was the best entry on the BLMN. Could redo it here if we want, but I can't. It's now a support play. I do like Intel lower. Just triggered. Market trying to bounce though. TSM. Oh yeah, just had the buy set up. Yeah, if we get another entry, TSM super strong. And I'm still willing to do Intel long. I'd like to see it get over 25 and then actually Yeah, at least over the VWAP and then set up. The aggressive entries are now here. The breakdown trying to fail. And, you know, SKX looks okay too, higher. INTC still no break of downtrend. There's another sell setup on Apple. Ecom getting to 20. Yep. I guess that was the one to buy. Okay, I would like a long. Do the continuation on TSM 51 by 74, about a 50-cent stop here. It's very, very tight. Be much better under 73.30, which is the pivot low. I'm going to do a little bit of this over 51 with a stop at $74. Just take the 2-minute continuation play. Should be a 2-minute. Yeah. 51 by 99 if it triggers. E-health even lower. It's right on that 77.50 though. Here's Apple. And Apple's pretty good. 33 by 61.26. Okay, no trigger on TSM. BYND. Is it set? Yeah. Got the sell set up at the VWAP. Just about 50 cents late. But under 121.50, there's another entry. Yeah, BYND's good. It looks like I got triggered into TSM. HMY looks like wants to blast off. And TSM looking for 75.50 up there near high a day. And a half hold. Question with this one will be, can it rally when the market tries to rally back, which it will. Just not sure about right now. And Apple getting a little stubborn with the last drop. It did put in a good looking bottom. And KLA dropping pretty well too. So shorts should be working. I didn't do any. Yeah, I know. I know. I put it on the list, but I didn't put it on my watch list. Yeah, it dropped nicely today. I don't have it anyway. I just checked. But Apple sure worked, at least early. I saw that entry. Oh, lots of votes. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little interested in Intel long. I'd really like to do it with the market though, and over the VWAP. eHealth too, although eHealth broke through the demand a little bit. DSM's still looking good. And the gold is just cruising. DSM will move with Apple. All right. They've been going opposites at the open, though. Hey, Intel approaching the intraday VWAP on the 2-minute chart. Still not popping, though. All right. Sorry about the BYND, Ralph. It looked good. Just turned in midair there. But nothing looks as bad as my BLMN did. Look at that. And Intel not able to break that downtrend yet. Neo tested that buy setup. Out Intel. Hey, Jeff. I'm still interested in longing Intel, but just need a little more. Well, a lot more. Tesla, yeah, it's bouncing, right? Hey, Ash. I mean, Tesla, another one that's tough. It fell nicely, but it's right on that rising 20. Okay, here we go bouncing. I don't have the call on it, but I'm looking for anywhere close to high at A for half the TSM. I think Rabas made the call earlier, and I took the little continuation play. And just want to see it pop into the 75.50 area, give or take a dime. Yeah, energies for sure. I haven't looked at any airlines. Yeah, well, ALK fell. Okay, getting the 2-minute sell area in the queues here. Wouldn't be much of a rally if it couldn't at least fight that off, but we'll see. Fought off the first one at the VWAP. Now at the 20. Now BLMN off the support. Well, I think Intel's going to pop higher, but I don't have a play for it. It's still pinned under VWAP, and it just can't break even a single minor pivot, although it may right now. Yeah, and TSM sure popping nice too. Okay, there's Intel making the first try. Problem is the market is close to high a day. Yeah, Nvidia, nice run. All right, this is half target area on TSM for me. Just took some. Other half's a hold with the VWAP as the trail. Yeah, just hit 75.50. That was the target area. So buy setup on gold. AU or HMY, both look okay higher. And SPY right back to high a day. Hasn't gone through it, but sitting there. And same with the Q. See how they're basing through that 20 MA. Likely they're going to pop more. And I don't know where to hold the TSM for. It's, I just gonna hold it for a couple more dollars. There's no anything up here. As long as it uptrends, I'm just gonna try and hold it. Yeah, going through the high day right now. Yeah, right. Can't. There's just nothing to sell. Maybe it'll go climactic. All right, so gold long or I don't know. Man just took it too early, and I don't like it as much anymore. But I think it's still gonna finish the day higher. VZ a buy setup of sorts. Just gonna go through my list one more time before I take a break. BJ2 I think is gonna finish the day higher. Was the exact same play as the BLMN, just thinner. AXP is surprising fade. Gapped under green and is now back in the supply. E-health is still lower. It's through everything. I mean, this is actually not a bad short here under the lows. It just tried to go and tailed, but this thing just looks dead. Intel, though, Over 50.45 isn't crazy. Yeah, problem is the market just made the move to high a day, and now Intel, after the market pulling up, now it decides to look a little bullish. I mean, I don't know that the market has much influence on Intel today, but it always has some. Yeah, market pivoting at the high a day, so not the time to go long. NKLA is still lower. Stunning numbers, really. How much of their business was Apple? Probably not much. Apple only sells laptops. Well, somebody didn't like something, but usually they start roaring back by now. It's 10:15 and there's just been no sign yet. Somebody likes SGMS though. Yeah, we moved through the 20, now trying to get a little pivot. Go into the 5-minute chart here. So we did trigger a sell setup, but trying to fight it off. Right, it's like major major, Evan. He's only in when he's out. You can see him whenever you like, but only when he's out. Nobody knows that story anymore. I didn't pay this SGMS much mind, but it did gap to the top of the red, and it really pushed higher. ENT? Yeah, that thing's getting volume today, too. Look at that. What was their news? ENT news. Some kind of bankruptcy news? Oh, it's been downgraded following Chapter 11 filing. Well, that's a good reason to triple. There you go. Bet Hertz is envious of that one. Yes, and did they file too? And the malls are going to be empty if they ever open again. All right, I'm going to walk off a little bit. Market is showing some strength now, fighting off the sell setup, trying to pop high a day. Actually, did pop high a day. So I'll let it run for a little while. I think the thing to look out for next is the 15-minute sell. Anywhere up into this 257 area, 256.50 would be where it would likely occur. You know, in close to the gap fill area, but hopefully not quite, or it'll be a little too strong. But that's what I'd look out for. I was the pre-market call was look for us to bounce a little and then short the rally. So we fell early, but now getting that bounce. And whenever that 15-minute sell happens, that would be the time for me anyway to look at getting out of TSM. It's a nice run going. Gonna get the stop up near break even soon, but don't want to give a whole lot of this back. But at the same time, would like to keep it open and going. VWAP's about 74.90. So not gonna let it go to a loss at this point. All right, be back in a little bit. Thanks. Hey, it's Rob. Spy got the 15-minute sell. Q's did not, and never was able to drop below the VWAP. Spy got it, for a moment, and then immediately got routed. Oh, I thought they had good reports. 5 downgrades on Intel? Oh, there it goes, too. Yeah. Well, I wasn't patient enough for this. 50.45 was the good entry. Right at, well, I guess I was here. 10:20. No, I just walked off at 10:20. Yeah. All right. Then it had another chance. So Intel, if you got in long, looks okay. Give me a sound check, anybody? Make sure I'm making sound. Thanks, Tom. S6 out of the top of the cloud. Yeah, support play. Pretty good daily, weekly support. All right, so it's a little harder now because we were in the area to set up and didn't. Could still happen on the 15, but the SPY is hard now on the 15. Because we have that higher low in there. Yeah, I'm talking, Evan. Oh, I don't see you in the voice chat. All right, I'm gonna scan, but I don't really have a market play. TSM I closed at well, I posted right before I closed it. Yeah, I just got it out to the 8MA. I took the 8MA trail stop on on TSM. That was a great call from Ravis. I got in later, but it was, you know, bullish, popped right up, base sideways, and then breakout right there at 10 o'clock. Actually, that is what I took, the breakout. I think there was a smaller, yeah, the smaller time frame buy setup. That's what I think Ravis posted over in here. And then I took it over here on the little continuation. But very, very, very nice play. Yeah, I mean, Qs to me are coming right up into the sell setup area. 15-minute, but I'm worried the SPY is messier. But still, I mean, we're into the resistance area. This is where the sells should happen if they're gonna happen. So I'm definitely looking for something lower, preferably to something like, look at that VLN, man. Oh well. Took that early. If you waited and took the support play, you got a nice play. And I was saying could redo it down here. It's a different play to me. I like to play the strength. Although on a morning like this morning, the strength was harder. Didn't get any market help. Ecom still bullish. Yeah, EW does look lower, Evan. Totally failed on the gap. So this is actually this is actually a play for me sometimes. I don't do this much, but this is the daily failure play. Yeah, right there, 87 by 23. Looks pretty good. Honeywell also failing. Matt failing on the gap. Not Sam, though. ABUS negative now. Yep. Yeah, that's what we're saying, was it looked like a pretty good fade. All right, Apple is at new daily, new highs intraday. AXP, a pretty amazing fade there. Looks like it wants to fall a little now, though. And there's a short, VLDP. Huh. Gotta get back under the VWAP, but got a little daily demand, but that could work. eHealth could get some momentum going. I mean, so could Intel, but eHealth just recently triggered along, and I like eHealth long. I just would like an entry here. Yeah, Matt looks just like EW, right? Same, yeah, same thing. Dailies anyway. And Neo bounced nice off of that retest to the buy setup. Well, it's late on eHealth. I do like it higher, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. I think we're gonna fall soon. Look at yesterday's watches. You got a good short, Evan? Or anybody? If CTXS wasn't in daily support, well, it's also 19 hourly bars down. Hmm. Twitter's a decent long, but I don't want a long here. So's Pulte and MTH. Beautiful hourly on MTH. But market just rallied for the last hour, so buy setups here not the greatest. Danaher maybe. Hmm. Yeah, I'd like to see a 15-minute trigger. So I'm not thinking of shorting right now this second or anything, but if we get a 15-minute sell up here in resistance at the declining 20 for lunch, I think it's worth taking a something weak, which so far I see maybe Danaher, although it doesn't look good on a 15, it looks good on a 5. And and Ballard Power, but the VWAP's in the way of success there, but the 15 looks okay here. I see a lot of longs though. Surprising. PFE is weak. Be a breakdown though. AEL has a decent looking 15. HT bullish, yeah. Yeah, it is. I see a lot of bullish stuff. Intel cell. Yeah, there's the 15. All right, so I don't see much. I do like PFE somewhat. Definitely weak. It's just, well, it's got yeah, it's got 50 cents to the first demand point. 40 really. Well, it could do it with a 20-cent stop under low a day. More like 25. So that is a possibility. If we get the sell set up and a breakdown on a PFE. Or those other drug companies. Yeah, I kind of like Pfizer. Danaher I'm going to take off because the 15 is really a reversal bar. And I like BLDP. Um, Again, support is kind of a problem, but there's likely a little maneuvering room, at least a low a day. So if this could break the VWAP at the same time it breaks the sell setup, I mean, the 15 minutes already triggered. It was 76 by 96. And here's the SPY. Here's the Qs triggering a sell setup. Now, as Evan mentioned, might want to wait for the next one. You know, INTC triggered 15 minute. I still think that's going higher though, but can't buy it with a 15-minute sell setup triggered. Netgear, I think, is too spready. It was bad on earnings day. It's gonna be worse today. Yeah, it's only done 100,000 shares. It's deceiving, this Netgear. It looks like it trades okay, and then it doesn't. See, it did good volume the other day, 16 mil, which is why I played it, but it was just a fake. All right, I kind of like PFE, 38 by 57 or 60. So it's 1.5 R to the first demand point at 37.08. And then, maybe there's another R&a half there that has a nice fall. But hourly broke down today. So hourly uptrend is gone. Daily falling back from a run into supply. It may not be clean because of all, there's just all this mess around it. Yeah, me too. Like I say, it's far from perfect, but it should be able to drop 50 cents if the sell setups work. TSM? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna short that though. That's just too strong. All right, so Pfizer or BLDP is not really there yet. That could set up too. Get another power today, right? Pluggo. Yeah, plug's still really strong. All right. PFE. PFE under 38. I'll post it. Stop at 60. That's a call. Make it crack low a day though. It's actually under 37. Yeah, it didn't go through the 38. I want to see it go through 37 and then stop is just above 56. Trying to pick on a weak one here. But market may not be done going up yet. All right, well, I'm going to wait for it and I'll do it if it triggers, and if BLDP comes around, I could post that in addition to or instead. I like that as well. Just want this smaller time frame to line up. Yeah, sorry, Ralph. That's a tricky one. It looked like it broke support, but it was one of those, fool ya. There was more support. Yeah, I'm gonna do PFE if it can get under 37. All right, I'm gonna put the projector off, um, and turn the mic off here. But I'm gonna wait and see if PFE triggers, and then if it does, the targets would be 3708, and then like 3660. Yeah, 3652 is the top of that daily bar. Probably, Evan. I'll be here a while, but then I have to go out during lunchtime, and it's Friday, so I may not make it back in time. You know how Fridays are. So if I don't talk to you, have a nice weekend. All right, talk to you later. Thanks.